Hey everyone, welcome to Good to Great Cooking. Today I'm just going to share a real quick recipe for homemade French onion dip. With the Super Bowl coming up, I'm sure you guys are looking for quick recipes for delicious snacks, particularly if you're going to have a Super Bowl party. You don't want to be slaving in your kitchen while the game is going on, so you want to have things that you can get prepared, sit them out, let people graze as they want to while you're enjoying the game. So for this recipe, I want to go over the ingredients first. We've got sour cream. Well, this is 1 cup of sour cream. We've got parsley. I'm using dried parsley today. This recipe can be made with fresh parsley. It takes a lot more of any herb that is fresh than the dried version. So if this recipe is calling for a tablespoon of fresh parsley, then I want to use a teaspoon of the dried parsley. It's about, I'd say, 1/3 of the dried product needed than what you would need for the fresh product. Okay, there's also garlic powder, onion powder, minced onion. This does not use fresh onion. It uses dried minced onion. And I like it like that because that flavor is so much more intense, the onion flavor. And then just salt. The equipment I need, my measuring spoons, and a plastic spatula for stirring. Let's go ahead and start getting this mixed up. Okay, let's go ahead and start getting our French onion dip mixed up. The first thing I'm going to go for is the minced onion. Okay, recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of dried minced onion. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. If it spills over, it's not a big deal. The beautiful thing about a savory recipe is that you can fudge it a little bit. When you're baking, you don't want to do that because baking is much more precise. Then 1 teaspoon of garlic. Now this is, of onion powder. This is the roasted onion powder from Penzeys. The flavor is just a little bit more robust. I'm sure you can see that the color is quite deep in here. Then with the garlic, it says just a pinch. So I'm just going to literally do that. I'm going to put my finger in there and get a pinch of garlic powder. You don't want a whole lot of that in there. Since I'm using dried, I'm just going to use 1 teaspoon of the parsley. Okay. And then I'm going to be maybe a teaspoon, maybe a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. Not too much salt because I don't want to over salt this because I sure can't get it back out if I do. Now let's get this stirred up. Pretty good. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to go get a chip or whatever you're going to eat this dip with and taste it. Make sure that seasoning is correct. Make sure it's at the level that you want before you put this in the refrigerator to store it. You want to store this dip for at least an hour before serving it because those dried onions will start to soften and they'll bloom a little bit in that moisture of the sour cream, and that's what you want. You'll get a better texture and you'll get better onion flavor in your dip. So let's go get a chip. So I want to taste my homemade French onion dip. Make sure that the seasoning is good before I put it in the refrigerator to just kind of settle in and let the flavors marry. That is really yummy. I got the salt level right. The onion level is good. It's going to get even better as it sits. So I don't want to do anything to that. I don't want to manipulate it anymore because I don't want it to be over salty or over oniony. So homemade French onion dip, highly recommend that you give it a try. Recipe will be in the description of the video. Have a great time.